Hey guys, Kokai here and welcome back to another video reaction. Today I'm going to be reacting to What If Eeveelutions Evolved Again by TrueGreen7. Now, Sylveon is my all-time favorite Pokemon, if you don't already know, so I'm excited for this video, so let's watch it. Also, TrueGreen, if you're watching this, hi, big fan. And secondly, if you want me to take this video down, I will just leave a comment.
Hey guys, Ron here, and Eeveelution content gets used on this channel, so we're back at it again. But also, I'm a big fan of Eeveelutions. I have no negative feelings towards any of them.
Agreed.
That's why I would love to see them reach even higher potentials. Even though Eeveelutions are already relatively powerful Pokemon, since I have the power and will, I'm gonna evolve them one final time.
Yes.
I mean, to those who have paid attention to the stats of the Eeveelutions, that means that all of the fake ones I'm creating today are technically legendary.
Badass as hell if you ask me. Also, quick note, you do not effle with Shuckle.
Not only stat-wise, but lore-wise as well. I want to expand on the existing lore of Eeveelutions and even give them additional types that haven't been incorporated into Eeveelutions. What if Eevee's unstable DNA made it evolve once again? Let's find out. But remember, I'm not mega evolving Eeveelutions here. I'm not just adding a few extra traits like armor or jewels to existing Eeveelutions. They will be completely new Pokemon, just like how Shiftry isn't just a fancier Nuzleaf, or how Ludicolo isn't just a bigger Lombre. The whole point is that they are the next step in the line. So expect what you love about Sylveon to not really be completely intact in its
What do you mean by that, True Green?
evolved form. Or I don't know what you like. I mean, I can confirm that the Sylveon evolution that I'm making has the same color scheme.
Trans Pride. Happy Trans Day of Visibility if you are watching this on the 31st of March 2025.
And if that's your favorite part of Sylveon, like it is mine, then you're going to be satisfied. And if you enjoyed this video, leave a like and definitely subscribe so I know that you want to see a part 2 and evolutions to the remaining half of the Eeveelutions.
Spoilers, I'm going to be reacting to both this one and the other part.
How about we start with Umbreon? No particular
Okay.
reason other than I think this guy is going to have the least amount of changes, and I want to
Okay,
ease you
then.
into the concept of this
Let's see
video.
what you come up
I
with,
wanna scare
Ron.
you. Although, to be fair, the whole point of the evolution I'm cooking up is that it's a scary predator. Umbreon already is, but what if it were more imposing visually and way more dangerous? Umbreon was destined to be a poison type. Its beta concept was a poison evolution. Its Pokedex entries talk at length about how it sweats and sprays poison. So I want to fully commit and expand on this trait along with its ability to blend into its surroundings and hunt down prey. I'm going to turn its pointy parts into stingers and give it the look of a leopard and by extension a panther. Spots that can change color will adorn its fur.
Okay, I like the idea. I'm just going to fast forward a bit to when he's actually designing it.
So that even though it'll have a similar details to Umbreon, it automatically does
Good
not
whip.
have the exact body of one. Got it?
I know I said good whip. For those who don't know, in whip or WIP is an art term to mean work in progress. WIP whip. Anyway.
And make sure it's not facing us. All the other evolutions will be directly towards the audience, but this one is indifferent to us. The eyes are more mature versions of Umbreon's, and I originally wanted the ears to be either porcupine-like or perhaps made of toxic gas, but honestly, just fatter versions of the original is good enough. It looks like they are engorged with poison. Facing the back like a standoffish cat, the tail will officially be a stinger. It naturally flows from the previous form. I'm giving it wispy, gaseous whiskers, and I thought I was genius for adding in these gassy manes, both tying it to the legendary beasts, making it look more like a big cat, and differentiating it from Umbreon. But again, when it comes to the Eevee family, you need to be subtle, so that means that this mane kind of ruins the sleek silhouette. I want it to look shady and sneaky, not proud and regal, so after refining the shapes, I took the mane out. Yeah, it now looks more like an Umbreon, but it's an Umbreon evolution. It would look like this. I'm giving it leopard spots again, a nice progression from the existing traits Umbreon has. They won't be symmetrical and refined, both to make it look more cat-like, but also since it's a poison type now, it looks like a sludge, almost like bright markings to warn others. But as you'll see in the lore, it's also there for the opposite reasons. I'm giving it a similar color scheme to Umbreon, but way more radioactive looking. Like I've been saying for years, it ain't mean to add
That looks fire.
some green. Beware the evolved form of Umbreon, Umbreus, the Moonlight.
Oh, changing it to EUS like Archaeos even. Sorry, I always say Archaeos as I always say Archaeos as Archaeos. You cannot change my mind. That is my official pronunciation. I'd say I pronounced it EUS as Eos, as in chaos, the first being in Greek mythology. So for me, I would pronounce Umbreus as Umbreos. Because but still, corrosion has its ability to poison all Pokemon, and hidden ability in a focus. I'm sorry, I just saw the shiny. What the hell, Ron? That looks fire, my guy.
Pokemon, from Umbra meaning shadow and Deus meaning god, a dark poison type. Umbreus's whiskers
Okay, what's the next one? He does.
and location. Umbreus's prey never sense its presence. Dear than Umbreon's, and its skull is
I'm
much more.
skipping
Now that
forward.
you're eased in, I want to change a lot about Leafeon. Not because I dislike anything about its design,
okay.
because honestly, Leafeon looks perfect. But
Yes.
rather because I wanted to, to take its leaves and turn them into entire trees. You see, most of Leafeon's lore is about how it produces a bunch.
Okay, turning the leaves into trees. Let's skip forward a little bit to when he starts designing it. Again. Sorry, just want to make this video more appealing for my viewers, for you guys, my viewers.
The hardest part is whether or not to also get extreme and give it the face of a deer-like Pokemon, or keep it feline-esque. I'll struggle with that at this point in the process, but it all comes down to it not even looking anything like a Leafeon, especially now that I turned the leaves on its ears and tail into full-on trees. I even made some of the hair tufts into branches. So in order to balance out the crazy difference in this Pokemon's body parts, I decided to finally give it a face more akin to its previous form. Now I'm more confident in the aesthetic. Its feet are now slender hooves covered in bark and dirt, and the end of its branches are a bunch of tiny leaves. You know what trees are. I mean, is there any human above the age of 2 that does not know what a tree is? Who cares? Why am I asking these questions? Do people even watch this part of the video?
I don't know, Ron, but I am watching this part of the video for A, so you could get more money from this video, but also B, because I like to see how you construct these evolutions.
Comment with your favorite tree if you're actually watching right now. Okay, I honestly don't.
Oh, I'm gonna do that. I think I've already got a comment on here, on this video, but yeah, who cares? Oh yeah, I've already commented my favorite tree. I'm not gonna edit my comment. I'm just going to. Yes, my favorite tree is the Dragon Blood tree. Sue me. Oh wait, you can't. It's my opinion.
I do not care about your favorite tree, but I do care about your favorite grass type Pokemon. So let me know in the comments. I finally added some of the bark texture and began coloring away. But even that was a hassle, because I didn't know where the fur ended and tree began at some points in the body. To be fair, Leafeon does showcase a very noticeable transition in its colors between fur and leaf. So this question I had when coloring in... Oh my god. So this question, I thought there was a bug. This question I had when coloring in my evolution carried over. At this point,
Okay. I kind of see the Leafeon parts with the green and the beige body, but I also see how it differs from Leafeon, since it is an evolution after all.
For some reason, forgot that I wanted it to be a ground type, but then I remembered, so I added some sedimentary stripes. Adding those helped with my problem, and I also gave it layers that look like earth, finally making it look as leaf.
Oh, that looks good, but oh my god, the shiny, not shiny, looks amazing. Leafeos. Sap Sipper, making it immune to gas, and hidden ability Chlorophyll, which boosts its speed in the sun. 610, Jesus Christ, Leafeos. Okay, skipping forward to the next evolution.
Flareon seems to be the evolution that is dogged on the most, mostly for its competitive.
Hey, so if you're watching my video, go to Ron's video and put some dubs in the chat for Flareon, please.
Prowess? I mean, I assume its move pool doesn't make much sense with its stats. I don't know. I'm not gonna pretend like I found a perfect solution, but I, at the very least, hope it doesn't make it worse. The lore that we're going to be expanding on is the fact that Flareon's fluffy fur releases heat into the air so that the body does not get excessively hot. But what if Flareon's mutation wears off and causes it to slowly lose the ability to contain and release a healthy amount of heat? It
Okay. I'm intrigued, Ron.
overheats and becomes a ghost. The thermal energy.
Oh! Okay. I haven't done this yet, but I'm gonna kind of predict what he might do. I think he might make the face a skull to make it seem like the skin's melted off. Let's go to the art. Okay, hold on. I think I'm having some Wi-Fi troubles here. Let me just check that quick and I'll be back with you guys. Okay, I'm back.
Battling demons. Thank God he's a demon himself. But we're basically drawing a Flareon.
I understood that reference.
But with way more fluff and a more feline face. The eyes are also more serious, so much so that its face is a skull. That's how serious it gets. Nothing more serious than a skull. Its face was burnt off. I mean, that's even more serious than you thought. I mean,
I called that. I predicted that.
a skull could belong to someone who died of old age or something. But no, this skull belongs to a Flareon whose face was burnt off. The problem is that we don't want to make it look too edgy and hardcore. Remember that a huge rule of Pokemon design is to avoid extremes. I think I'm going to do that by making sure every single other aspect of this Pokemon is soft and cuddly. But obviously I'll also tone down the skull a bit. The neck fur will also be swirling ectoplasm, kind of like a spiritomb. I assume for some reason, did I say in chat? In the comments, who for some reason have no time and love my content so much that they'll just like animate a fake mon of mine. Animate this one. It'd be very tough though, so the tail and fluffy bones. I'm first giving it Flareon colors before making the orange more of a violet red, so it's a bit of a ghosty vibe. Honestly, the line work on this one is some of my favorite I've ever done. This is Flareus, the flame poke.
Oh, Flareus. Okay. Rockhead. So it doesn't take recoil from moves like Flare Blitz and hidden ability Guts. Okay. Okay. But I mean, we have to talk about that shiny. Okay, so on the normal form, it's more of a bright red. It's a red. The red is a deep red with beige fur. Although the shiny changes the red to an ice blue with more grayish ghostly like fur, which I think works. Now, just skip forward a bit to the next evolution. Oh, advert. Let me get rid of this, guys. I'll be back. Alright, I'm back. Sorry about the advert, guys.
Like a beautiful flame. Very legendary looking, too. The last evolution we're evolving today is Sylveon.
My favorite Pokemon of all time. Okay, guys, I'm sorry. I normally skip out everything in terms of info, but I am not for my favorite Pokemon of all time. I'm sorry.
Newest edition, and we're already evolving it. And to be fair, it's not that new. I mean, it's been like, what, 10 years? Yeah. We all know that Sylveon uses its ribbons to calm people down, but what intrigued me about Sylveon's lore is that half of its Pokedex entries talk about how it mostly uses its ribbon-like feelers to weaken hostility in its prey, and once its prey doesn't have the will to fight, it attacks, aiming straight for its opponent's weak spots. Almost sounds like Sylveon relishes the kill, and since it's able to sense an opponent's weak spot, I'm gonna interpret some aura powers latent in Sylveon. A fairy fighting Sylveon that uses its ribbons to fight.
That sounds awesome!
And strike its foe's vital spots sounds pretty badass. It'll have a bandage aesthetic too, with those ribbons, so it'll already look like a natural progression. We're trying to start with a dynamic pose. Dude has long arms and is semi-bipedal, but most importantly...
Semi-bipedal sounds perfect.
The dude is pissed. He is itching for a fight.
Language, Ron. Language.
Since we're diverging so much from Sylveon's stance, the ears and various other traits will be relatively the same. I'll add a few more tufts of fur to indicate how ratty this Pokemon is, but also to make it look more like a moon rabbit. The proportions are a bit uncanny, so I'll make it a bit more quadrupedal. The ribbons on Sylveon's head will now look more like the tassels on a karate headband. The ribbons coming out of the neck will wrap around the arms like bandages, but will unravel and twirl around when mid-fight. I'll give it actual pupils and similar patterns to Sylveon, but create actual segments to its fur instead of painting on patterns. Finalizing the ribbon on the other arm, but at this point I kind of thought it looked too much like a regional form, like an angry fighting type Sylveon, so I evolved the pattern on its head. Again, since it's not a Sylveon anymore, patterns and features should move around and change. It's literally Sylveon's color scheme, but with a new pattern on his face, it looks like this Pokemon's face is red with rage. Here is Sylveus.
Oh my god, Sylveus looks... Oh my... I wanna cuddle it so bad. Ability Unburden is insane. With hidden ability Pixelate, which, for those who don't know, Pixelate is a Pokemon ability that turns any normal type Pokemon moves into fairy type Pokemon moves. But the shiny though, oh my god, he kept the exact same shiny coloration. Ron, you are a legend.
Intertwining Pokemon, a fairy fighting type. Sylveon's suppressed rage and fighting skill is unleashed upon evolution. It is now able to fully sense aura and enhance its punches to crush boulders. It surges aura through its intertwining ribbon-like feelers that wrap around its arms to release devastating blows to its opponent's vitals. It wraps its prey in ribbons only to finish them off with consecutive punches. It is very efficient and does not make any superfluous moves. It goes directly for its opponent's weak spot and finishes them off as quickly as possible. The duality between its desire to fight and end conflicts leaves it fairly unsatisfied. It's common for Sylveus to calm down other Sylveus so that they can find momentary peace. Throughout history, humans have used Sylveus as the symbol of man's duality, the capacity for both war and peace. It has the abilities Unburden and Pixelate. I love the pose I gave it, and the shading.
Now for the next one. Now we are on What If Eeveelutions Evolved Again 2. Okay, honestly though, I love this intro image on Ron's video. So I'm just skip to the first evolution in the video.
Love to see it. Let's begin with Jolteon. As a child, it was my favorite evolution. It's sharp and fast, and that's the kind of Pokemon I like. Back in Gen 1, it felt like a cooler Pikachu. It was the embodiment of lightning, one of the least divisive evolution in my opinion, so I have to make sure the evolved form I want to make doesn't stray far from its original direction. Since we're giving it additional types that evolutions don't already have, and that I didn't give any of the evolved forms in my previous video, the 3 types that make sense are as follows. Flying, to give it a storm cloud aesthetic.
Okay.
Steel, to expand on the pins and needles that this Pokemon utilizes. And Bug for the...
I think Bug would be the one he goes for, because in Gen 1, Jolteon was one of 2 Pokemon, the other literally being Beedrill, to get Pin Missile.
Actual type of the iconic Pin Missile it learns. But obviously, I don't want to turn this thing into Bug just because of a move, and giving it a cloud on its back would make it too much like Raikou, and would honestly not justify a flying type. So I'm going to go ahead and exaggerate the needles on its body, make it far more dangerous looking, and justify a steel type, with its body becoming way sharper, tougher, and magnetic as a result of the electricity charging its body. We're beginning with the shape of a slightly bulkier and taller Jolteon. I want it to feel superior to the stature of its Prevo. It'll have a mane that points upwards, made of sharp needles, and ears with barbs in the multiple directions, and the shape of a lightning bolt. Spike is just a combination of...
Well, sorry guys, don't mean to... I had a bit of technical difficulties with that slight cut there, but anyway. I haven't said it already, but I will link Ron's channel, as well as both Eeveelution videos in the description down below. So you can go subscribe to Ron if you're not already, and watch these videos if you want to watch them yourself without my commentary. So I'm just gonna skip through it.
Attributes like its fluffy mane and tail, 2 of Eevee's defining features that kind of get lost with some of the evolutions like Espeon. That's why in the final version, I'm giving this Jolteon evolution a far bigger tail. Behold, Jolteus, the piercing Pokemon.
Okay, so he did go for electric steel. Okay. I do like how he doesn't change the shiny that much. He makes it a nicer shade of green than regular Jolteon, than Jolteon shiny. And Jolteos does look cool. Iron Barbs is a cool ability to give it, and having hidden ability Lightning Rod to make it immune to electric moves works very well in my opinion. A very good evolution. Oh, so from what you can see at the bottom, Glaceon is the next one up.
Funnily enough, Glaceon was a Steel-type contender for also having the ability to turn its fur into sharp needles. Its ability to create diamond dust could be a hint for the rock type, but diamond dust is just ice. It's not actual diamonds, obviously. I think the only other type that makes total sense to incorporate into Glaceon's Evo would be flying. It has mastery over the atmosphere and its temperature. What if, once again, I interpret the flying type as the wind and air type and make a Pokemon that has dominion over the atmosphere? I mean, to be very
Interesting.
natural, regal, and leaning into its snow rabbit aesthetic. I elongated its ice hair to look like a crown and gave it long wing-like ears. I know I want to include a mane like Eevee's that looks like a scarf wrapped around its neck that is also in the shape of a hurricane. And originally the idea was to give it fur that looks like a cyclone that either came out too messy, flowing crystals to go of this, but at the and I finally drew a cape that connected to the scarf, making it look like a queen, and included Glaceon's patterns with an inversion of its existing patterns to look more like the gloves that nobility would wear. The colors are far from surprising. Keep in mind that the crown isn't pure ice. That's why it's insanely blue. It's hard fur covered in ice. Check out Glacius, the Arctic Wind Pokemon.
Oh, I do like Glacius. Is Wind Rider a new ability? Let me quickly Google that. I'm mistaken. Wind Rider is an official Pokemon ability that makes Pokemon with the ability immune to wind moves. And when it's hit by one, its attack increases by 1 stage. And oh my lord, that shiny looks insane. Way better than regular Glaceon. Glaceos does look like a cool Pokemon.
An ice there could be an glace issues. It instantly like praise this Pokemon. It may honestly be because it's derivative of an existing Pokemon who already has is my favorite evolution.
Ooh.
I have receipts that I actually loved it years before a certain 4chan post in 2018. I simply think it has the best design.
Do not Google Vaporeon 4chan post in 2018. Trust me, don't.
The family. But since the last two were fairly faithful to their prevos and didn't change anything drastically, how about we do something a bit differently with Vaporeon? It's technically the least mammalian of all evolutions. It becomes almost sea serpent-like, like a mermaid. So let's complete the evolution and turn it into an entire dragon. It'll be a long Vaporeon, pun intended. Take far more inspiration from Eastern dragons, and since the body type will be the most drastic change, I won't really add
Eastern Dragon. I'd like to see where he goes with it.
More draconic, but the limbs are still inspired by Vaporeons. The face is simply Vaporeon with a longer snout to make it more reptilian. The head fin is bigger, while the ear fins are relatively smaller. I added a fish whisker on the head like an antenna, again very Asian dragon. Instead of Vaporeon's fish mane, I'm giving it some Eastern dragon fur to go with the whole theme and to call back to Eevee. Changing the proportions a bit so it looks more friendly, finishing touches before finding it a bit tough to render the colors. You see, original Vaporeon has the dark blue head with a light blue face and body, but now that there's no segment to separate the face and head, I have to decide to make it dark blue or light blue. Instead, I decided that as an important Pokemon, I'm allowed to add a gradient from dark blue to light blue. I toned it down a bit before making it a bit shorter since it looked too different from the other evolutions. I personally think the proportions work way more now, considering its tail is long enough. Here is Vaporeus,
Vaporeus? Ooh, that's shiny. Turning it pink instead of purple? Ooh, hold on. Marvel scale? Marvel scale on a dragon type with water absorbs his hidden ability. I mean, they're all meant to be legendaries, but still, some of these abilities are disgustingly good, and I love it.
Pokemon. A water dragon when it's time, but it can seem to be playful in water in this gating, and that finally leaves Espeon to combine.
My second favorite Pokemon of all time. And fun fact, before the introduction of Sylveon, Espeon was tied for my favorite Pokemon of all time alongside Glaceon. But anyways, enough blabber from me, let's see what he does.
Combined with either the bug, normal, or rock type. I think I'm going to take this single eeveelution with a literal gem on its head and turn it into a psychic rock type. What if there were just way more gems on it? I'd do a future much less delicate body than Espeon had. Espeon's face, but out of... I originally added a pattern around the head gem to make it look like a third eye, to make it obvious. A rock collar with smooth that alludes to the sun, psychic type, and that's partially why it's white. Also to showcase the theme of light that this Pokemon has, so a brighter version of Espeon's color palette makes sense. Behold, Espius, the soul.
Oh my god. Those gems look nasty and insanely gorgeous. Hidden ability Magic Pounce. Chef's Kiss. I can't pull off Chef's Kiss, I'm sorry. Clear Body normal ability, okay. Good defenses for a bulky rock type. And that shiny though. Dark green where the purple is. Lighter green where the lighter shades of regular Espeon are. Oh my god.
Solar Pokemon, a psychic rock type with the abilities Clear Body and Magic Bounce. When Espeon stands still for months on end, absorbing the sun's energy, they petrify and turn into the orbs. Eeveelutions is subscribe for more and...
Okay. Guys, that is the end of this reaction video. Lon, again, if you want me to take this video down, I will. But yeah, go subscribe to TrueGreen7. And I will see you guys next time. Goodbye.